Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Cooks by Carrie. If you're new here, I'm Carrie, and for today's Foodie Friday video, I'm sharing how to make this delicious, simple, easy, homemade hummus. It is seriously so delectable, guys. You are going to want to eat this whole bowl. And it's healthy too. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Today's recipe comes from cookieandkate.com, and what you're going to need are a can of chickpeas, or you can use um, cooked chickpeas. Like, I think there's more details in the recipe because I just use a can, but I think it means like dried beans, dried garbanzo beans that have been cooked. And if you don't know, garbanzo and chickpea mean the same thing. So if you see that can at the store, you're good to go. You're also going to need baking soda, lemon juice. Recipe I don't know if I said that word. Lemon juice is what I meant. And the recipe recommends that it's fresh, but if you don't have it, I'm sure you can substitute for just some bottled. A medium to large garlic clove, some sea salt, tahini, for some water, ground cumin, extra olive oil, and that is it for this basic hummus recipe. It is seriously so good, and you probably already have most of these ingredients. Maybe you just need to get like the tahini or the chickpeas. Okay, so even though I'm using canned chickpeas, you still have to cook them. And this is a method where you put the baking soda in and then you cover the chickpeas with several inches of water and you cook them for about 20 minutes on high heat. And they boil up, and I put a lid on it to make sure that it would boil faster, which is a little tip. I don't know scientifically if it makes it boil faster, but I'm pretty sure it does. Anyway, so the reason the recipe suggests this is because I guess the best type of hummus is when the chickpeas are very cooked, like overcooked, which I found really interesting. But this hummus was so good, so I definitely recommend that you don't skip this step. I know it's annoying, but 20 minutes, it's not that long in the long run of things. So for this next step, I'm going to be combining the lemon juice, garlic, and salt. And you can do this in a food processor, but for me, I personally find it easier to clean my blender, so I just did it in that. And for these blender shots, it's a little hard to see. You'll see what I mean in a second. The blending, so I'm sorry about that, but hopefully you can still kind of get the idea of like what it looks like when it is blended. And also, not all my garlic chunks did. They got way smaller, but they weren't completely gone. But that's completely okay. Because in the end, you're not gonna like have a chunk of garlic because it's gonna keep blending when you add in the other ingredients. So anyway, I'm going to blend this all up until I'd probably do like 30 seconds to a minute, and then you're gonna let it be for about 10 minutes or longer, and this is to get the garlic flavor to mellow out. And what I found is that I did this right after putting the chickpeas to boil, so I just kind of let it sit out until my chickpeas were ready, which it was good. I think that's a good way to do it because then you're not waiting for two different things, you're just waiting for one time to go off and then both will be ready. And now it was time to check on my chickpeas. Now I can't show you the actual straining of the chickpeas, but I did want to show you what it looked like. And as you can see, some of those bubble looking things, those are actually like the chickpea skins, and you do want to use them. So when you're straining, try to use a strainer that has like very fine, it's very fine. I don't know. I'm almost at like very fine holes. Something that's kind of more resembles a sifter, if that makes sense. You don't want a lot of like a strainer with some big holes because then those skins that you want to keep could fall out. And now I'm back to my blender. So now I am going to add in the tahini mixture and blend. And tahini, if you don't know, it's a paste made out of sesame seeds. And it is like a primary ingredient in hummus. I was able to find it in my local regular grocery store, so I'm sure that you'll be able to find it hopefully easily. And then once you have mine was in kind of a medium-sized jar, so I actually will have enough for it to make multiple recipes. So I thought that was good. So yeah, just put the top on, and then I'm gonna blend it all up. And then occasionally you want to kind of open the blender, scrape it down, and then blend for a little bit longer. That's just how I found it was best to do it this way. And what I noticed was I was like thinking like I don't really think that this is going to be very thick, and unfortunately you can't see in this clip, but it was pretty thick, so I was really happy about that because I like a thick hummus. So now it is time to add in some water. I didn't really measure this, kind of just eyeballed it, but it's going to be about 2 to 4 tablespoons. And you're supposed to add it in while mixing, but I wanted to show you guys that I was actually adding it in and then starting my mixer. And then again for this step, I'm going to scrape it down occasionally and keep blending. I probably blended for a little longer than you need to, but just kind of maybe like a minute at most. It really does not take that long. And now it's time to add in the chickpeas, the main ingredient, the star of the show, and the dried cumin. So I'm going to add this in, and then while cooking, you can drizzle in the olive oil, but I decided to do it in 2 steps so I could show you better. First, I did this, blended real well, and then I went ahead and added in the olive oil. So it's a little hard to see, but it's blending very nicely, and I was very happy with it so far. And before I continue with this video, please subscribe, leave a thumbs up, comment down below what you'd like to see next, share this video with a friend, and hit that notification bell to get notified when I post a new video. I have around 140 subscribers, which is so cool, and my next goal is 1,000. I know it's far away, but I know we can get there, so if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And now I've added the olive oil, and I'm going to continue blending. And you can I feel like you could kind of just see that it was a really thick hummus, which is nice. I feel like I keep saying that, but I just think it's to reiterate that, it's like I wasn't completely sure what the consistency was going to be. And in the end, it was thin, but it was just really good. So it kind of changed from thick to thin. So, yeah, that's just something to note. And then there was looking so beautiful, scraping down the sides again. And I was so excited to taste it because I am a huge fan of hummus. And now it's time to do one final blend. In this last moment, I decided to add in some more of the lemon juice. You can also add more salt, I think, or anything else. I tasted it and I was like, you know what? This can have a little bit more of like almost like a tang. I don't know if that's the right word, but like a pizzazz. Let's use pizzazz to it. And it tasted so delicious. I was so ready to have it with some pita. Side note, if you want to see a homemade pita video, let me know in the comments down below because I have learned how to make it and it's pretty easy. And very delicious. So there the hummus was again, and it's almost time to dig in. Tasting it again. And that's another chefy tip. You should try and taste it throughout the process. Not obviously at the beginning, but towards the end, once you have all the ingredients in, because you want to make sure that it's tasting how you want it to taste, because this hummus is for you. And the recipe is kind of just like a blanket recipe, or that's not really the right word. Like a base recipe. There's also like other ones you can do, like to pizzazz it up. I'm making that a thing now. So if you want to try out those variations, I do have the cookie and cake recipe linked in the bio, and you can check out their other recipes too. So anyway, I'm just adding it into a bowl, and then I'm going to drizzle in some olive oil, and then it's time to eat with the pita. Also, for a pita video, if you're looking for something like that, the pita that I show in the thumbnail, the thumbnail, it's not the type of pita I like to make. That's actually from a restaurant. And here at the end, you can just see him kind of swirling the hummus around, trying to make it super pretty for the thumbnail. And it's just also like the technique I use could be really great for a presentation of like an appetizer for like a dinner party or something like that. I also think that this hummus will go really well as a Super Bowl snack because, it's people love dips and you just dip with the pita and so delicious. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some more extra virgin olive oil on the top. And I am also going to be putting some paprika just to give it a little bit of flavor. Honestly, it doesn't really add that much flavor. It just makes it look pretty, I think. And one other side note. So olive oil is definitely pretty expensive, unfortunately. But you can't really substitute any other oil for this recipe because like canola is just completely different. So I just want to make that one note just now that it's pretty important you use this specific olive oil. Not like that specific brand, just like olive oil in general. And here is the final result. It was so delicious, so good. I cannot recommend it enough. Alrighty, and that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please follow me on Instagram at Cooks by Carrie. I post lots of fun photos of the food I cook and other updates and such. I will see you next Friday for a new video. Bye, guys.